Goldhirsh. Shirat of Zera Shimshon.
All of this can like on the side. Oh, Rabbi Yosef Moshe is here. Yosef Moshe Sasson?
That's the one.
Yeah. My name is Yitzchak Goldhirsh. We're going to wait till a second. But no, it's because of the hat.
Oh.
Understand? You're going to see in a few minutes there won't be any simon anymore.
It's called a Hasidic bruise.
Because the hat is hard. It's with precious. And numbers in me might too.
I heard a nice thing about a kapata.
Yeah.
That, I always thought like it was something that maybe was worn because that was from the Alterheim, and we would try to keep those ways.
Yeah.
But the idea that it's better to be the head of it's better to be the tail of a lion than the head of a fox. And so, you know where I'm going here. I mean, I know that's why you wear it. And so on Shabbos, I put on this fox on my head, but I get an extra level up on Shabbos. I get to go from Keter to Malchus of the next. You understand? I'm like Ki'ilu, the tail of the lion.
That's his honor.
I'm with the big boys. That's the deeper meaning. But
Of the Streimel.
yeah, the Streimel.
I understand.
Of the Streimel.
But
it's mink tail,
I have a
isn't it?
question.
They wear big fur hats. They say
It's not
it's big fur fox.
kosher because it doesn't show its
Better to be
guts,
the tail of a lion.
or it doesn't have
As a fox. That's like the
But
part of
then why does it say Torah in France? People say it's Jewish.
level up.
I don't understand. It's not kosher.
What a lion. You have to take from every animal part of his midah.
This is vertical.
Have a giber kuari. There's a Mishnah saying, "Have a askan or maybe kalkan as sherotz katzvi giber kuari." You have to take the strength of a lion in order to serve Hashem. The Shulchan Aruch starts, "He's gaber kuari." You should go with the strength of a lion. How to serve Hashem. So a lion was created. It wasn't created that we should be able to eat it. A lion was created. We should see how much power a person can bring out of himself in order to serve Hashem.
So it's Jewish, but it's not kosher.
A lion is not kosher. It's Jewish. Whatever Hashem created, it's Jewish. Whatever, it's Hashem. So we are all Hashem. So now let's start. Gewaltig. Eine Regel haben wir damit Zeit begonnen. Und mit dem Zeit begonnen. Oh.
I have another question.
No, this you're going to have to ask me later, after the sheet. So steht da. Parshat Vayeitzei, Tufshi and Payai. B'siyata d'shmaya. In the beginning of the parsha, we see that Yaakov Avinu left Be'er Sheva, and he went to Haran because his father and his mother sent him over there. He should go look for a shidduch, one of the daughters from Luban. He should take to be his future wife, B'siyata d'shmaya. Shkoya. And Yaakov Avinu first went for 40 years. He was by Shem Ve'ever, and he was Oisik in Torah. He was learning for 14 years Eitzel Shem Ve'ever, by Shem Ve'ever. Now the question is, Yaakov was already 63 years old, and he had learned already his whole life. Yaakov Ishtam Yoshev Holim, we see last week's parsha. He learned by his father Yitzchak. He also learned by Shem ve'ever, Yoshev Holim, Shem ve'ever. Now his father sends him to go, and he should have chasana. He should go and find his shidduch. And he goes for 40 years, and he's hidden by Shem ve'ever, and he learns over there again Torah. Wasn't he already enough Talmud Chuchim in order to be able to get chasana? So they say in the name of the Ostrov Tzerebe. They also say in the name of Agur Rabbi Yankov Kamenetsky, Zitzal, that both of them said the Gewaldige Yesod. Yankov had learned Torah, how it is to be a Jew, an ehrliche Jew, a Haredi Jew, when you live in Eretz Yisrael, close to his father Yitzchak, in a generation, in a community that is everything is Ovdei Hashem, ehrliche Yidden. Now he knows he's heading to Chodan. He's going to where Luvan lives. The whole community over there, Ovdei Aveira, Ovdei Avodah Zura. He has to take extra strength how to deal with how to stay in his madrege, even he's going to be surrounded with so many bad people. So he went again to Shem ve'ever. Shem ve'ever were the ones. Shem survived the Doira Mabel. He knew the Doira Mabel. And Ever was in the time of the Doira Fluge. So those were two generations that were Ovdei Aveira. And they stayed Ehrlich. They stayed Ovdei Hashem. They were strictly Ehrliche Yidden. So Yaakov went again for 40 years to Shem ve'ever. They should teach him how he should stay an Ehrliche Yid, even by being next to Luvan. He should be able to say when he comes back, Em Luvan Garti. I lived there for 40 years, and as Rashi quotes next week, what's Garti? Taryag. Taryag mitzvah shemarti. I still kept all the 630 mitzvahs. And that's why it's not even a problem. He had the tzivi of Kibbutz Avuhem to go there, to go to Huron. And why did he go first 40 years to Shem ve'ever? So Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky gives a nice mushal. If a father tells his child, he should go and buy him an estig, a kosher, nice estig. Now the child doesn't know yet all of the haluchas. What are the haluchas of a kosher estig? So he can't go and buy. So he first goes to shul, and he sits down learning a few hours all the haluchas of a kosher estig, and then he goes buying. Is that considered that he pushed off the mitzvah of kibbutz av? Adarabah. He started right away off doing kibbutz av. What's the way? First he should know what he has to buy, and then he can go and buy a kosher estig. So if he was sent by his father Yitzchak to go to Luvan, he was sent there in order to get chasana, to have chasana over there, get married, and he should come back and ehrliche Yid, Yaakov. So he has to learn first how you stay over there, how you stay strictly an ehrliche Yid, even though you're surrounded with so many bad people. So you have to go first to Shem ve'ever. They should teach him how to be there, even in every situation, in every matzah. And that's what the Ostrovtze says. The Parshat Vayeitzei, it says by Yosef. Yosef was a ben zikunim. So Rashi brings down a few pshatim and ben zikunim. One pshat is kol ba shalomad b'shem ve'ever mosaloi. Whatever he learned from Shem ve'ever, he gave over to Yosef. Only for Yosef he gave over? Didn't he teach all of his children Torah? And why only what he learned from Shem ve'ever and what he learned from his father Yitzchak he didn't give over? So he explains Gewaldig. What he learned from Yitzchak, the whole Torah, he gave over to all of his children. What he learned from Shem ve'ever, how to stay an ehrliche Yid, even when you're surrounded with bad people, he knew B'riach HaKodesh that Yosef is going to be the one going down to Mitzrayim. So he has to know how to keep himself an ehrliche Yid. So what he learned from Shem ve'ever, those 40 years, that was what he gave over to his son Yosef. He should be able to keep himself even when he's going to be in Mitzrayim, and when he's surrounded with the bad Mitzrayim.
Let's say Torah, Chuppah, lesson Torah. You get married and you have all this up to me, 12 kids. I say, this is my time to steig. Because once I get married, I have 12 kids, and I'm not going to have learning like this.
1 second, gewaldig. Puri chatu adonai, alayini melech ha'olam shakol ni bedvoroi. The Bari is saying, they say it in the name of the Chidah. The Chidah brings down in the Sefer Nachal Kedumim. He brings it down, I don't remember B'Shem whom, B'Shem someone before the Chidah. He brings down like this, that actually he was sent to go to Huram to get married, and he went first 40 years to Shem ve'ever. Why? He explains like this. The Gemara brings a stira in a few places. Masechta Kiddushin, if a person should first learn Torah and then get married, or rather the opposite, first he should get married and then he should learn Torah, because Torah after you're married is a higher level. It's Torah b'tahara. It's a more pure Torah. On the other side, the Gemara says, if you are married already, you have Rechaim al Tzavoro, you have on your head that you have to bring Parnasseh, and it distracts you from being able to learn. So that's why Rechaim al Tzavoro, he can be Oisig b'Torah, he should first be Oisig b'Torah. The Gemara brings down a stira, and the Gemara says, it's no stira, it depends. Hu lam, v'halahu. Depends B'nai Eretz Yisrael and B'nai Bavel. And there's a few pshatim in the Hu lam, v'halahu. Rabbi Nitam explains that B'nai Eretz Yisrael were rich. The Israeli people were more rich than the B'nai Bavel. So the Israeli B'nai Eretz Yisrael, that they were rich. So they don't have such a problem of Parnasseh. So first they should get married, and then they could learn Torah b'tahara, and they have Parnasseh. B'nai Bavel, they were poor, aniyim. So if they're going to have chasana first, and they're going to have an oila Parnasseh, it won't work out good. So that's where, so they won't be able to learn. So they should first be learning, and then they should get married. So says the Chizuk Gevaldik. When Yaakov left his father Yitzchak, he was a rich boy. His father gave him along whatever he needed. So he could go and have chasana, and he's going to be able to be mamshech learning after the chasana. Yaakov felt he still has missing, he has to still learn a little bit. But once Eliphaz chased after him, and he took away all of his money, and he told him, even though your father told you, Esav told you should kill me, Ani Choshev Kemes. So that's why it's killing you when we came the tzivi of your father. And he was an Ani. He had no more money. He was poor. Now if he's going to go and have chasana, he won't be able to learn like it has to be. So he understood he still has to finish his learning. If he wants to learn 40 years, B'Shem V'Eivir, and then he could go and have chasana. I want to say something that has with the end of the parsha, and then we're going to get back to the beginning of the parsha. The end of the parsha is where Yaakov is on his way back to Eretz Yisrael. It says in the Pasuk, when he's coming back to Eretz Yisrael, it says, V'Yaakov hulach ledarkoi. Yaakov was going on his way back to Eretz Yisrael. Vayivgu boy malachei Elokim. How do you say Vayivgu? He met up. He was Vayivgu boy. He encountered. They encountered him. Malachei Elokim. And when Yaakov saw them, he called the place Machanoim, 2 machnes of Maluchim. So they say in the name of Rapinchas Koritzer, Zeichet Tzadik Levrucha, a remez in this pasuk. A person shouldn't be looking out for madreges. He wants to be a big bal madrege. That's a matona. If you get madreges, it's a matona that you got from Shemayim, from Hashem. We have to be avodim. We have to be servants. Serve Hashem as a eved. Avoidas oved. Serve him as a eved. The Apterov brings down in the Sefer Oyev Yisrael that tzaddikim, they really would want to stay their whole life avodim. Serve Hashem as a eved. Where iskafye means you have an isoyen, and every time you have to fight the Yitzhak. But Hashem wants them, they should come to a higher level. So He gives them madreges. It's a matona. So from now on, their avoidas matona, etnas ki naschem. They don't have such big nisyonis. This is what Hashem wants, so they take it. Because they also serve Hashem with this. But they really wouldn't want it. They would want to stay avodim nemonim to Hashem. Serving Him, fighting the Yitzhak day on, to go, day and night. So he says like this, the Rapinchas Koritzer, that a person shouldn't have and make these cheshbonis. He should be only seeking to serve Hashem as it comes his way. And if Hashem wants to give him a matuna, he's going to get it. So he says, V'Yaakov hulach ledarkoi. Yaakov was going on his way. He wasn't looking for madreges, for maluchim. He was going on his way serving Hashem, derech ha'toyre v'amitzvahs. Vayivgu boy malach Elokim. Suddenly, it encountered him, the malach Elokim, all of the holy maluchim and the holy madreges encountered to him, but he wasn't looking for that. And he brings down a story in the Pinchas Koritzer. He says, there was once a Yid that was davening very much that he wants to have Ruach HaKodesh. And he was davening so much for Ruach HaKodesh, and at the end, his tefillah was accepted. But tefillah only half. So he got the Ruach and he didn't get Kodesh. That was what he said. He got the Riach. That means he was, but he didn't get the Kodesh. So you don't have to be looking for Ruach HaKodesh. You have to do what you have to do. And we see it also at the beginning of the Parsha. Yaakov goes to sleep and he sees a Silam Mutzav Arzo. This shows the Silam of Avodas Hashem. It's a very, very tall Silam. Even if you go one step on the Silam, you're already on your way up. Then you go another step, another step. If you want to give a jump, usually you fall down. But if you go step by step, they call it in English, slowly but surely. That's how you have to go. Helichach tehei v'nachas, says the Toldos Yaakov Yosef. Your heliche, we say it in the Zemiras from Shabbos. Your hiluch should be benachas, slowly. Helichach tehei v'nachas. That's the way how it's Meshivas Nofesh.
One rung at a time.
One
rung at a time.
One rung at a time. Yeah, that's the right way how to do it. So Yaakov was going the darker step by step. If Hashem wants in the middle that he should get a lot of madregas, so he's going to accept it, but that's not the dark that he was looking for. We see that the Pasuk mentions Yaakov went out from Be'er Sheva and he went to Choron. So the Pasuk mentions both Chalukim. He's going out from Be'er Sheva and is walking, is arriving to Choron. Why? So they say in the name of the Beis Halevi from Brisk, and also other Mefarshim say this. Sometimes when a person goes from one place to the other, the reason why he is going is because he has to be over there. He has a meeting over there. He has to go from Yerushalayim to Bnei Brak. He has to meet someone in Bnei Brak. So he's going away from Yerushalayim is not the purpose. The purpose is arriving to Bnei Brak. Sometimes the person has to run away. He's being chased after. He has to flee. He has no way. He's looking where to go. So he's going, let's say, to Bnei Brak or to Meron. His idea is not being there. His idea is to flee home, not to be at home, because he has a lot of redifus if he is at home. Over here by Yaakov, it was interesting because his father and his mother sent him away. Last week, it says in Pasuk, Vayishma Yaakov, El Ovi ve'el Imoy. What's the El Ovi ve'el Imoy? Pashtus? His father and his mother. But there were two reasons. Rachel Imeinu, she knows that Esav wants to kill Yaakov, but she didn't tell Yitzchak. The Rechaim HaKodesh quotes last week, she didn't tell Yitzchak because of the issue of Lashon Hara. She understood that it won't be anything else by Yitzchak knowing that his Tachshit Esav wants to kill Yaakov. So she didn't tell him, but she wanted Yaakov should go away. So she came up with a solution. She told her husband Yitzchak, Yaakov has to find the shidduch. Send him to my brother Lavan, he's going to be a choron. But by Rivka, the main reason was that Yaakov should flee away from Be'er Sheva. He shouldn't be over here next to Esav. Yitzchak didn't know that he has to run away. By him, the ikar reason was he should go over there and have chasana. Vayishma Yaakov el Ovid el Imoy. The going away was a purpose, and the going to Choron was a purpose. Vayeitzei Yaakov mi Be'er Sheva. Vayelech Harano. Two purposes was over here. By his going, every step that he was going, he was becoming further from Be'er Sheva, running away from Esav, and coming closer to Choron to getting married. So he was Mekayim, Koilovim and Koilimai. By every step, he was Mekayim, Kibbut Av and Kibbut Em, going away further from Esav and getting closer to having Chasana. Now, I saw in Sefer Dorash Moshe, from Rav Moshe Feinstein Zitzal, he says that the Pasuk wants to teach us another Zach. Sometimes people could think that it's bashert. We know that everything is bashert, meaning, how do you say bashert in English? It's min hashamayim. What? Made to be, gewaldig, meant to be. Everything is meant to be from Hashem. Now, sometimes a person could think only the major thing, the tachlis, the purpose, but all of the steps in between. Who says that this is everything meant to be exactly how it is? Lemushli. When a person is going to look for a shidduch, Yaakov is going for a shidduch. You could say his going to Choron was meant to be exactly, he should be in Choron, getting married to the daughters of Lavan, Leah, Ruchel. But on the way, that's only a hechetimtze to get there, but there's no tachlis in every psiyah, in every step that he's going and he's arriving to Choron. The Torah teaches us no. Everything is meant to be b'hashgacha pratis from Hashem. Not only the tachlis, Just every and every step. Vayeitzei Yaakov beBeersheva, Vayelech Harono. By going to Haran, every step, there was an avodah. Yaakov was serving Hashem with every step that he was doing. Vayelech Harono. We have to know this regarding everything. First, I want to say that I once saw the Ben Yehoyada. The Ben Ish Chai has a sefer Ben Yehoyada Masechta Brachos. It brings down that the Gemara in the beginning of Masechta Brachos brings down a story. Tanya, Rabbi Yossi said, "Pam achas yisi mahalach bederech." Once I was walking bederech, and I had to stop to daven, and I was afraid maybe people are going to disturb me while I'm davening. So I found a churva over there. So I went into the churva and I davened over there. It's all like Gemara Barichis, but the Gemara, I'm only going to quote the chelik that's negayah to what we are talking now. Eliyahu Yanovi came there and he was standing outside the churva, waiting, and Rabbi Yossi should finish davening. When he came out, Eliyahu Yanovi asked Rabbi Yossi, why did he go into the churva daven? Why didn't you daven over here, in the middle of the road? Because on a churva you shouldn't go in, because it's a sakana. Mazikin could be there. So Rabbi Yossi answers him, Misyara Yisi, Shema Yafsikini, Oivre Derochem. I was afraid that people that they go through over here, they're going to disturb me in the middle of davening, they're going to be me mafsik. So Shema Yafsikuni, Oivre Derochem. So the Ben Ish Chai, the Ben Yehoyada says, why does he start Pa'amachas Yisi Mahalech B'derech? He calls himself a Hoylech B'derech. And when he says, I was afraid I'm going to be disturbed, I'm going to be bothered, he says, Shema Yafsikini Oivrei Deruchim. Over you say Hoylchei Deruchim, over you say Oivrei Deruchim. So he explains the Gewaldige Yisoid. It has to do with to what we spoke before. Oivrei Deruchim means a person that he knows he has to get somewhere. And the whole way that he is going, it's just it's just a way how to be able to get there, but it's no tachlis every step in what he is doing. If a person is a hoylech derochem, he knows every psia, every step. He has to have a purpose by arriving there, but there's also a purpose every psia that he is going. A person that's a hoylech bederech, if he sees someone davening in the middle, he won't pass by, even though maybe you're in a rush. You have something very, very important, but there's something important now too. By every step that I'm doing, I'm saving Hashem, and now saving Hashem means not to go and to wait till this person finishes davenings. So if there would be Hoyl Chai Deruchim, I would be able to daven outside on the road. Those people that they only want to arrive there, the whole derech is only a mavar. It's only a way, it's only to jump it over and get to the place where I want to be. So those people won't have the time and they won't wait, and maybe they're going to disturb me. So Rabbi Yossi calls himself Mahalach B'derech because he was Hoylchei Deruchim, and he's afraid that he's going to be disturbed by the Oivre Deruchim. And this is what we have to know. Sometimes a person waits for a Yeshua, for a salvation. He needs a shidduch. He's waiting for a refuah. He's waiting to a deal should go through. He should have money. He should be able to live. And he's waiting long, and he's doing all of the ishtatlis, and it takes time. It could have taken a week, and sometimes it takes maybe 5 months. And people look at it, sometimes they could look at it as wasted time. This few months it was wasted. The ikka was that I got to the tachlis. It's not wasted time. Everything had the matura. Every minute that it took you to get there is also a part of the tachlis. Everything is meant to be bashguche prutis. And even when you're looking to reach, to achieve a madrege in Torah mitzvahs and avodas Hashem, and you fight on the way with the Yitzhak until you achieve it, anything that you want to achieve in Ruchnius is also, all of the steps is part of the avodas Hashem that you have to do in order to get there. It could be sometimes quick, it could take time, but you shouldn't look at it as wasted time and it's only a way, an opportunity how to get there. It's a tachlis for itself.
I think that's why they're assuming malachim. Malachim were
very nice. He said that Baluchim, that's why they're oimdim. And we are holchim. The whole time we're getting closer and closer and closer. Yeah. Yaakov goes to sleep and he sees this big cholam. He sees a sulam mitzav arzo, v'roisha magia hashemoimu. As we spoke before, a ladder, it's mitzav arzo, Rosh Hashanah Shemayim Malach Alekim Oilim V'Yordim Boy. Now we see in the Medrashim a lot of things. What he was shown over there by this Cholim, by this dream. What the Silam, to what does it refer? What does it? How do you say it? Resemble? No. Resemble. Yeah, is that correct? What does it resemble? The Silam. We see a lot of. I want to quote what I saw in the Sefer Zera Shimshon. The holy Zera Shimshon brings down on this pasuk that when Yaakov gets up from his dream, he says, "Ma noira amokai mazeh, ein zeki in beis elikim." It's so. How do you say noira in English?
Awesome.
Awesome. How awesome is this holy place? Ein zeki in beis elikim. This is nothing other than a beis elikim v'zeh shara shemayim. So the Zera Shimshon says, why did he say in such a way? Ein zeki in beis elikim. He's saying clearly in the negative. This is nothing else, only the beis elikim. He should say zeh beis elikim. This is the beis elikim. The word ein and the two words ki'im is lechoire extra. He shouldn't have said ein zeh ki'im beis elikim. He should say zeh beis elikim. That's what the Zera Shimshon asks. And the holy Zera Shimshon answers, and he's also asking, what's the lashon ma noira? Ma noira means to say it's very awesome. Pachat ma is kilu afloge beyoyser. He brings down that the Bes Yosef brings B'Shem Aguis Mordche and Ilches Tisha B'Av, that there are people that Tisha B'Av at night, when they go to sleep, they put a stone behind their head. The remez is, for the Pasik, in this week's Parsha, Vayikach Ma'avnei Amokoim. Yaakov Avinu, when he went to sleep, he took Ma'avnei Amokoim, and the Medrash says that he saw over there the Beis HaMikdash, because it says, Ma Noira Amukim Hazeh, he saw the Chorban. That, and because he saw them the Chorban, that's why we should also take a stone and lie on a stone on Tisha B'Av at night. Now the Medrash also brings down what he saw over there by this Cholim. The Medrash brings over there, this is the Lashon, that Hashem showed him the whole Beis HaMikdash. Silam refers to the Kevesh. Mitzav Arzo, this is the Mizbeach. Mizbach Adom Tasali, so that's Mutzav Arzo. Rosh Magia Shemayim, those are the Karbonos. Malach Elikim, those are the Kehanim, that they do the Avoide on the Mizbeach. So one of the Pshatim the Medrash brings down is that he was shown over there the Avoide in the Beis HaMikdash, the Mizbeach, and the whole Avoide of the Beis HaMikdash. Now, he asked the Zera Shimshon, but who told for the Aguas Mordche that he was shown the Churban? The Medrash brings down that he saw over there the Avoid of the Beis HaMikdash, the Mizbeach and the Avoid, but who says that he saw the Chorban? So he says, Gewaltig the Zera Shimshon. In these words we see that he saw the Chorban. Why? Because in the beginning he takes the Pasuk and he splits it into three. He says like this, the Zera Shimshon. Ma noira amukim hazeh. This refers to the Beis HaMikdash that Yaakov Avinu saw. Ma noira amukim hazeh. It's so awesome, this place. And right afterwards he says, Ein zeh. I don't see it anymore. It's gone. I don't see the Beis HaMikdash. And when do I see it again? The third Beis HaMikdash that's going to be built by Hashem. Ki'im Beis HaLekim. The one that's going to be Beis HaLekim, the one that's going to be created by Hashem. The Mikdash HaShlishi that's going to be Bonu, Umashuchlal, and it's going to come down from Shemayim. This is the one that's going to have a Ki'im.
And it's never going to be destroyed.
This is the Beis HaLekim. But v'zeh shara shemayim. I also see that in all matzuvim, in all situations, over here is going to be the shara shemayim, where all tefillahs are going to go up. Like we know from Chazal, the Medrash says, "Ma'olam lezaz shechina mekois lamaruvi," that the kois lamaruvi always is over there ashuras hashchina, and it's the shara shemayim. So lefi zeh, the Zera Shimshon says, from here the Aguas Mordche took that he saw the Chorban. He says in the beginning, Ma noira amukai mazeh. I see over here the Beis HaMikdash, it's awesome. But then I see Ein zeh, and it doesn't have a Kiyim, it's going to be a Chorban. And what do I see? What's going to have a Kiyim? Kiyim Beis HaLekim. But in all cases, v'zeh Shara Shomayim, over here is the Shara Shomayim. We speak about the Silam. There's so many remozim on what the Silam refers. I saw once in the Sefer Ateres Yishiyah from Reb Shia Lejikivir. He brings down that he once dreamt. This is also a dream. And he dreamt once on Shabbos Parshat Vayeitzei that Sulam is Rosh Tevis Samech Mesechtois Lilmoid. The 60 Mesechtes of Shas, we have to learn it. Samech Mesechtes Lilmoid. That's the whole Shishis Sidra Mishnah. We can understand it. I think he also brings it down. Vayikatz Yaakov Mishnosoy, he got up from his sleep. The Medrash says he shouldn't say Mishnosoy, elo mi Mishnosoy. From his learning. He got up from his learning. Vayikatz Yaakov Mishnosoy, mi Mishnosoy from his learning. Because Yaakov was so dwelling in learning that even when he slept, 14 years he didn't lie down. Only here's the first time. Vayishkav b'moker mahi. It's now the first time that he lied down. So Yaakov, the first time lying down after 40 years, what is he sleeping? He's learning in his sleep. Mimishnosoi. I once saw of the tzaddik Reb Meshilem Rat. Says a gewaltige Sach. Mishnosoi. Why do Chazal say Mimishnosoi? Why can't you say normally? Vayikatz Yaakov, he woke up Mishnosoi from his sleep. Says a gewaltige Sach. Shino, sleeping, is a header. It's not a metzias. It's a, how do you say header in English? It's a noun. It's not a
Passive.
Again?
Is it passive?
Passive. There's a metzias, a yesh, and there's a ayin. Nothing.
A lack.
A lack. Oh. Sleeping is a lack. It's not a pa'ula that you do. It's like a header, a lack. So how could you consider a lack to a person? Mishnah soy, his sleep. With what is the sleep his? How is he coined the sleep? It should have said, Vayikatz Yaakov Mashina. He got up from his sleep. What's Mishnah soy? You call it his sleep, but what is it? His, the Vav. So that's why Chazal say Mishnah soy. From his learning. Learning, that's considered the person's. It's his Torah. If it's a Rasoy, it's his Torah. He's learning the Torah. That's Mishnah soy. So we see over here, again to the Ateres Yeshua, Samech Mesechtes Lilmoid. And we don't have to jump to finish the whole Shas. It's a big gewaltige avoide. When we start learning the first Mesechta Mishnayis, we're already on the first step. And we have to look at ourselves by learning the first Mesechta Mishnayis, the first Mesechta Gemara, starting the first daf of the Gemara. I'm already on this ladder. True. There is thousands and thousands of steps, but a step at a time, taking a Perik Mishnayis at a time, a Blad Gemura, Daf Gemura at a time, and I'm already holding on this gewaltige Silom of Samech Mesechtes Lilmoid, that it's Mutzav Arza, it starts from the ground, but V'roisha Magia Shamayim. I also saw once that the Holy Originator says, he says a Remez in Silom, that it refers to the seed of Malava Malke. And he says, Sulam is Rosh Tevis, Seudas Levoyes Malkese. The Suda of being Malava. How do you say in English Malava?
Accompanying, escorting.
Escorting. Oh, accompanying, escorting. Malava Levoyas Malkes. To be Malava the Malke. That's Sulam. So the region says, Mutzav Arzo. You look at it as if it's Mutzav Arzo because you do the Sida, eating, drinking. Arzies, Gashmi is the Gezachen. But truly, it arrives, it goes up, it chuckles. The roishoy of this silo mitzvah arze magia shamayim till hashamayim. When a malach alekim oilim v'yordim boy. He explains that everybody has a neshama during the week, and you have a neshama yisera on Shabbos. On every Friday, the regular neshama goes away, and the neshama yisera comes in. And on Motzei Shabbos, we are escorting the Neshama Yeseda, and the regular Neshama during the week is coming back. So Malach Lekim, the holy Neshama is oilim, first the Neshama Yeseda is going up, the Yordim boy and the regular Neshama comes back. That's when? By the seed of Malava Malke. Sulam, Sudas Levoyes Malkese, that's when Malach Lekim al oilim beYordim boy. I once said from the Beyan Rebbe Shlita, that it's not only Marimas in the Sulam, we could see it in the Parsha also of the beginning. Vayeitzei Yaakov mibeir Shova refers when a Yid goes out from Shabbos. Be'er Shova is considered Shabbos. Shabbos is the 7th day, and Shabbos is the Be'er, is the Mayan, the well of the Shefa. The whole Shefa of the week is from Shabbos. When a person goes out from Be'er Shova, the well of Shabbos, Vayelech Harona, what approaches him? What comes to him? Charana, that's the Yemoy Sachoil, Charoi Naf, as the Rechaim HaKudish quotes. Charana is the remes for Charoi Naf. We start right away Motzei Shabbos. V'yirachim mechaper ovoin, v'hirba lahoshiv apoi, v'loyoyer kol chamosoi. The af v'cheim are coming against us during the week. So vayelech Aaron, the Aaron af comes. What's the eitzah? Vayivga b'mokoim. First, he should be davening. We should daven for the week that it should be with a lot of atzlocha. Tzadikim said on the posik, Al zois yispal kol chosid elecha le'eis mitzoi. Every chosid should daven to you for the eis mitzoi. So the Gemara has a lot of pshat to what's eis mitzoi. Shidduch, matzah isha, matzah toiv, le'eis mitzoi means a shidduch, other pshatim. But tzadikim said le'eis mitzoi refers to matzah Shabbos. When the Shabbos goes out, le'eis mitzoi, we should be davening and asking Hashem that the ashpu of the Shabbos, the chef of Shabbos, should stay within us till the next week. So vayiv gabamokoim, Yankov makes a tefillah over there and he davens, and then is the hemshich, the sulam, the sidas levoyes malkese, it's mutzav arzo, v'roishu magia shemayim, and the malach elakim, the boat neshumas, exchange them. The malach, the regular neshuma comes back, and the shuma yisayre goes up till next week. Shabbos, that's when it comes back. Yankov, after this gewaltige cholem, he arrives to Choron, and he sees over there the shepherds sitting and waiting to give to drink for the sheep. And he wants to start the conversation with them, and he starts off and he tells them, Achai, ma'ayin atem, from where are you? So they tell him, Mechuran anochni. Then he asks them if they know Luvam. They tell him, yeah, we know him. Then he goes and he tells them, hey, no, Godoil. There's still a lot of time. Why are you sitting over here with how do you call it, with
Arms crossed.
Yeah, arms crossed. You should be working now. You're probably getting paid for the whole day. It's still early in the day. It's not the time now to collect all the sheep, the mikne, hashkuat, you give them to drink, and go on. You have to give them to eat for the tzoyin, for the sheep. Until they explained to him that the reason is because they have to wait. There should be a lot of shepherds, all of the royim, and they have to take down the big stone that's on the be'er. So they say in the name of the Ponevisherov, it's a known word. Yaakov is just there for a few seconds, and he starts giving misir. What's going on with you? Hey, no, dayan godoil, lo yesa osef amikne, hashku atzoyne lechureu, and they still even answer him nicely. What the reason? They should have told him, could you hit the road? I don't know. What do you want from our life here? If the stranger arrives and he has to say dayis, the Bonnegerov says, he started off by saying, Achai, my brothers. Achai ma'ayin atem. That's how he started off the conversation. You're my brother, from where are you? We are from Chur. Once the conversation starts off with brothers, with ahava, with love, and you give the person a good feeling, then you can ask whatever, because he understands that when you ask, you're not meaning to tease him, you're just meaning the good, you want to understand. If you start off with giving a compliment, Achai ma'ayin atem, then you could go ahead and you could ask him whatever you want. The Pasuk says, Yaakov arrived to Luvan's house, and he wanted to get married to Ruchel. So he made up with him that he's going to work 7 years to marry his daughter Ruchel. So the Pasuk says first, the eyes of Leah were rakois. How do you say rakois? Soft, red-eyed, because she was tender eyes. And why was it rakois? So Rashi says because all the people were saying the Hagdoila Legodl, the big girl of Lovna is going to be marrying Esav, Vaktan Lekot, and the small one is going to marry Yaakov. So she didn't want to marry Esav. She was crying the whole time. And Ruchel, on the other hand, was always happy. Now, the Gemara asks in Masechta Bava Basra, how could it be that the Torah should speak about Laya something negative? Such a tzedekis, And we say about her, her eyes were tender eyes. The Gemara answers that the reason was, as we said now, Rashi brings down, she was crying that she shouldn't have to marry Esav. But the kasha is still there. Emes. We know the reason why she was crying, but still, it's a genus. It's not a male, that her eyes were tender, rakois. And the Gemara even says, we see that the Torah is so makbet to speak nice, that once the Torah is ma'akim 8 letters, not to say a dover megina. In Parshas Noach, instead of saying Asabeimu Atmeyu, it says Asher Anenu Tohoyred. It's not Tohoyred. It doesn't say Tameyu. Why? Because the Torah wants to teach us how you should watch your language. And you should have a nice language. And rather say Einenu Tohoyred than saying Tomei. And I've heard the Pasuk says Ve'einelei Rakos. But that's what the Gemara answers. And what's the Pshat? So I saw a gewaldige Pshat. The Chassam Sofer brings down a Chiddush, a Masech Tesik. In the Chiddush Chassam Sofer, it brings down that an esrik, even though an esrik that's a menumer is not kosher, but an esrik that's being b'meshach the Yom Tov Sikis, it gets, how do you call it, by touching a lot and squeezing it, it gets bruised, they call it. Yeah? A bruised esrik. It's not a problem of pre-Eitz Hodor, even though it's Nechoire. If you would start off the Yom Tov Sukkos with such a esrik, it's a chisorn. It's not a pre-Eitz Hodor. But if it happened b'meshach the Yom Tov by holding the esrik and doing naniyim with the esrik and saying howl with the esrik and being happy with Hashem by holding the Daled Minim, all of those bruises are not a chisorn. Adarabah, says the Chassam Sofer. That makes it for a more hodor. That's a nice esrik. Ze hoida v'ze hadora, from the estik, the hoid v'hodor, that Yidden took it and they were menay neya and they did the mitzvah of Daled Minim with this lilev and estik. So the feed this Chassam Sofer, you could explain this ve'einelei rakos. If a person has tender eyes, it's not a chisorn. But this is what the Gemara answers. How could it be? The Torah should say a negative thing, a dover megina. But if the Gemara answers that the reason why it was tender, before she wasn't tender eyes, the reason why it became so because she was crying, that's considered beautiful eyes. That's considered nice eyes because she did it for a mitzvah. And that's why the Targum Inkelis says on the Eine Leio Rakois, the Eine Leio Yuayon. They were nice. Beautiful. How could you say a rakos? Yuayon? Nice, but after we know the reason why they were rakos, she was crying not to have to marry Esav. That's a hoid v'hodor that she had this gewaltige havona and the gewaltige rotzoin not to have to marry Esav, and she was crying for that the whole time. I saw from the Kamarne the gewaltige word. Rabbi Tzagazik from Kamarne brings down in the Sefer Heichel HaBroche a tremendous gematria. The Pasuk says, Yaakov wanted to work for Lavan 7 years in order to marry Ruchel. It says like this: Vayavoid Yaakov berochel sheva shonim, vayiyu be'einov ki yomim achodim ba'avosei oisa. Because he loved her, he liked her so much, it was be'im ki yomim achodim, like a few days. He brings down that Yaakov Avini, we see in this week's parsha that he was mesaken tfilas arvis. Yeah, Vayivka b'mokoim, he was mesaken tfilas arvis. But in Medrash, in Parshas Vayeitzei, in Medrash Rabbe, is brought down the lashon that Yaakov, he made the mitzvah of Kriyas Shema. Kriyas Shema, Shachris and Arvis, we have from Yaakov, he was the first. And we know the Gemara, it's a Gemara in Peirik Mokim Shenoagu, in Masech the Psochim. It's also a Medrash over there, that Yaakov Avinu called all of his children, and he wanted to be Megala the Achris Hayomim. He asked for V'agido lachem, es ha'shikra eschem Achris Hayomim. The Shechina went away. Nistalka man is Shechina. And Yaakov was afraid, and he said, maybe there's a psil bebonai. Maybe the reason why the Shechina went away from me, because one of my children, or a few of them, aren't how they should be, aren't beseder. So all of them cried out together, all of the children, and they said, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Alekeinu, Hashem Echad. And they referred Yisrael to the Father. Our Father Yisrael, listen. Kishem she'ein belibcha elo echad. Like in your heart, there's only Hashem Echad. Kach ein belibeinu elu echad. We only have Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem echad. We only have on. So that was when Yaakov answered and he said, Baruch Shem Kivod Malchis Elohelam Buet. The Gemara then goes on and the Gemara says what we should do. Moshe Rabbeinu, when he gives us Shema Yisrael and Parshas Vayeitzei, he doesn't say Baruch Shem. He says Shema Yisrael Echad ve'ahavta. But we know that Yaakov did say before Baruch Shem. How should we do? So that's why the Gemara brings the Pshara. We say it quietly. We don't say it out loud. We say it quietly because Moshe didn't say it. But the beginning of Shema Yisrael and Baruch Shem was Yaakov with his children. Before Yaakov was Nifter, he gave us tools. He knew that his children are going to go down to Mitzrayim. How we should be able to keep ourselves in Mitzrayim and the whole keep of the Golos. Like he made the Tfilas Arvis, that's in the Choshech, in the Arvis, he was Mesakim, Vayivga B'Mokoim and Tfilah, that we should make and that should keep Klal Yisrael in the Matzah when it's dark, it's Choshech, it's Arvis, it's Erbuvye, it's confusing, everything is confusing. And should be able to daven to Hashem. That's the Koyach of Yaakov, Vayivga B'Mokoim. He also made the mitzvah of Kriyas Shema. And the Medrash even quotes the Lashon that Klal Yisrael and all the generations, when they get up in the morning and at night they say Shema Yisrael, it refers Shema Yisrael Ovinu Mima'oras HaMachpelah. Yaakov Avinu, that you're lying in Ma'oras HaMachpelah, listen to what we are saying. We still have your koyach Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. So Yaakov was the one that made this Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu, the mitzvah of Kriyas Shema. The Kamarni goes and he says, Yaakov was going to have Chassan over here. Oh, the Chiddushei HaShurim says that when Yaakov took the stones and he put them around his head, there's a machlokes in Medrash how many stones he took. One man, the Umar says he took 12 stones because he knew B'riach HaKodesh that it's going to be man with 12 Shvatim. So he took 12 stones, put them around his head. The Chiddushei HaShurim says that the 12 stones are the 12 words. Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad Baruch Shem Kivod Malchisoi La'ilam Buet. Those 12 words. This is what he took around his head. It was like Kriyas Shema before you go to sleep. Akoyre Kriyas Shema al mitosoi. But more than that, he was approaching, going to Charon to have chasana, to get married and be mamid. Told those days, Yid Beis Shiftei the 12 Shvatim. So when he goes and he tells Lavan, I want to marry your daughter Ruchel, he was always waiting how to serve Hashem, to bring down the 12 neshumas, the Shiftei, they should be serving Hashem, Shema Yisrael. Says the Kamar, the Gevaldik, if you're going to make the Gematria of this posik, Vayavoid Yaakov berochel Sheva Shonim, Vayiu be'enov Kiyomim Achodim be'avosoi oiso. This whole posik is Gematria 2,476. Exact, the same like Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad, Baruch Shem, Kivod Malchis Elohelam Buet. Yaakov was working 7 years to marry Ruchel, but what did he have in mind? Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad, Baruch Shem, Kivod Malchis Elohelam Buet. Maybe we have to finish already, so I'm going to just finish with this Seforne. No, I want to say a Sforne and a Sefer Chasidim. The Sforne brings down a gewaltige Sache. In the end of the Parsha, after Yaakov and Lavan were departing, they were, how do you say, preda? They were separating one of the other. It says, Vayashkem Lavan ba'boiker, Vayenashik Levanav Levnoisov. He kissed his daughters and his children. His children means his Einiklich, Riva, Shimon, Levi. Vayevorech Esem. He blessed them. And then he went back to his home. Why did the Torah have to tell us that Lavan blessed his children? Vayevorech Esem. He blessed his Einiklich. Gewaldig. Leah Rochel, the two Tzitkoriois, got a brocha from the father Lavan. And the Einiklich Riva Shimon got a brocha from the Zaydi Lavan. It's a gewaldige Gedilla. Says the Sforne gewaldige Werte. Sforne says like this. We know that Chazal say, Alti birchas hedyet kala beinecha. Even a brocha from a hedyet shouldn't be kala beinecha. It shouldn't be easy. We could never know. Even more than that, he says. That the Torah wants to tell us, Sipe, the Torah tells us, birchas loven levnoisov lehoirois, to teach us, shebirchas u'av, asher hi albonov, the brucha that a father gives his children, or a Zayde gives his Einiklich, Bechol Nafshoi, he gives it with his whole Nefesh, Beli Sofik, Ro Shetochel Yoise. Without any doubt, it has a gewaltige power to be Chal. Because it's a broche that a father gives his children a Zayde to the Einiklich. Because it's from the depth of his heart. He gives the broche not only with the words, he gives it from the depth of his heart. And that's why it has a gewaltige koyach to be Chal. So the Torah wants to teach us. Lovon, he's take Rosh, Lovon. He has a Tzelem Elokim, says the Sforne. He has a Tzelem Elokim, and he gives the broche from the depth of his heart. It has a gewaltige koyach shetochel yoyser cherava chalois, because it's a broche that comes from oimik hanefesh. That's when a father gives. Sometimes a father could think, I could give a broche to my children. I'm not a big tzaddik. Could be if you want to give a broche to someone else and you don't feel you're in such a madregi that you can give it from the depth of your heart. So take, maybe you're not the one to give a broche. But for your own children, for your own einiklich, who then, if not the father or the Zayde, should give a broche? It's from the depth of your heart. If Lovon's broche, the Torah could quote, Vayevorech Esem, Riva Shimon Levi got a broche from the Zayde Lovon. It's so gewaltig. So no one of us is worse, Chaz v'shulam. So for sure, how gewaltig our broche could be. I once said of someone, why do we see that people, when it comes that a person gives them a klolle, how do you say a klolle? Curses them. We are afraid, Chaz v'shulam. But when a person gives you a brucha, you don't take it so serious as a curse. A curse you take more serious. He answered, because usually a curse is from the depth of the heart. And the brucha is minasofa v'lachitz. Oy, oy, oy. So that's why we have to see that when we give a brucha, if chaz v'shalom we shouldn't give a curse, but if it comes out, it should be with minasofa v'lachitz, not from the heart. But a brucha should be ma'oimek alev. It should be with the whole rotzen. Because when you give a brucha with the rotzen and you have a tzelem elikim, it has a gewaltige power to be chal. And I wanted to finish with just this Sefer Chasidim. Sefer Chasidim says a gewaltige Sach. It says like this, a Sefer Chasidim. Hinei matoive manoim sheves achem gam yochad. Zog the Sefer Chasidim. Those two words, achem gam, are begematrie 102, like the word bonim. Achem gam is begematrie bonim. That's how it says at Sefer Chasidim, Simeshiyim em gimel. So there's a parish on the Sefer Chasidim from the Chidu. His parish is called Bris Avois. He brings down a gewaltige Zach over there, the Chidu in his parish, that a person should see that he shouldn't be hard, how do you call it, heavy. He shouldn't be heavy on his big children. Bonav Agdoilim, he should not be machbid oil, al bonav Agdoilim, elu yachshivem ka'achem. He should refer to them as to his brothers. And in that way, they're going to be noichim zeim zeh, and he's going to live with his children b'shalvo. And he brings down the Chidah Arai from this week's Parsha. It says in Posik that Yaakov called, he says, Vayoyme Yaakov le'echov likti avonim. They should gather stones and make a gal. Who is Echov? Rashi says, Hein Bonov. They were his children. And why does he call them Echov? Because they were like brothers to him when he was an Eist Shore, when he needed to go out to Melchume, they were like brothers to him. So we see from this Rashi that Yaakov Avini called his children Echov. Zog the Chidu that this is what the Sefer Chasidim meant. When the children are small, you have to be able to give them a petchele, a fiver sometimes if you need. Maybe you shouldn't give it in the face, you can give it in the feet. But they have to know, you have to know of giving them a small punishment in order they should be good. But once they are big, the children, adrabe. Be machshav your children like they are your brothers, and that's the remez of Achim Gam. Hine matoive manoim sheves. If you want to have a toiv and a noim sheves, Achim Gam yochad, your children should be considered like your brothers, and that's in that way you're going to have a peaceful life. B'shiyata d'shmaya, Git Shabbos, Git Shabbos.
Just a small word. Next week is the Basai and Shiur.
When?
Next week.